Today I am going to talk about a Laravel feature along with an OOP concept that many junior developers don't know, or even the people who just started learning Laravel don't know about this feature. As a result, they end up writing unmaintainable and non-testable code. So I hope you will enjoy this video. As you can see in my screen, I have just installed a fresh Laravel 10 and I have built a user registration page. Pretty simple registration page that is taking name, phone number and password. For example, if I submit this form using the data and it's printing registered the user with the following data and printing all the data that we have just submitted. Along with that, it is also saying that we have sent the message with top SMS, and this is the phone number and this is the message we are sending. Let's imagine we are using a SMS vendor called Top SMS, and using this Top SMS we are sending the message. Now let's look at the code. The code is pretty simple. The create method is loading a create blade template. So as you can see, this blade file actually contains only name, phone number and password, and when we submit, it submit to the user, and this is where it is being called. And in the store method we are simply calling this register method. This register method is doing nothing but just printing all the data. And then comes the interesting part. In line number 20 we are instantiating the top SMS class, and then from this top SMS we are calling the send method using the phone number we got from the input and the message welcome. And then if we go to this send method, so in this send method we are simply adding a log with this message, the message that you have seen in the browser, and then we are also returning the message. So as we are returning the message, the return type is string, and here we are actually also printing that response. So in this store method, as you can see, I haven't loaded any view, any blade template or anything. We are just printing using plain echo. By the way, just to see the log in our log file, let's see what we have in the log file. So this is what we have seen. And for example, if I submit the form again, we will see a new log. So I'll just make some space so that we can see new logs at the bottom. So this is a very basic form submission of Laravel. Besides, you might know that SMS service can take time to send an SMS to the customer. So it is not ideal to put the SMS sending functionality in your controller. So ideally, I wouldn't recommend to put this code here, but for our purpose, let's keep it this way. Instead of explaining to you what is the problem with this code, I will try to show you the example how this code will create problem. Now let's say we want to write test for this code. So we have user controller and we want to test this store method. So let me go back to my terminal, and I have another tab. In this tab I will just say php artisan make test user controller test. We have a new test called user controller, and here I will say test store because we are testing the store method, and the URL is user, and we need to submit by post method. And now as a data I would say name, phone number, password is secret. And now I will remove this comment because this is not relevant to our code. Now we are submitting to our user endpoint, and then we are submitting with this data, and we are expecting that we will see 200 success status. And the post method user endpoint actually pointing to our store method. So we are simply calling this a store method, and then we are actually trying to see if the response is 200 or not. Now if I just try to run the test, I would say php artisan test filter test store. So as you can see, this is passed. And now if I go to our log, as you can see in the log, it is printing that we have sent the SMS with top SMS, which makes sense because in the test we are calling this user endpoint, which is the store method, and in the store method we are actually sending the SMS using that top SMS service. Let's run the test again, and you can see we have another message sent. Let's run the test again. We have another message sent. Now let's think about it. Every time we run a test, we are sending an SMS to our customer. So let's say instead of using customer's phone number, I am using my phone number, and then every time we run the test, we are sending an SMS to my phone number. But the phone number is not only the problem. The problem is also with the vendor, the top SMS. We are always using the top SMS service to send SMS. Even though we are testing, we don't want to send a real SMS, we cannot do it. Why? Because of this line. What's the problem with this line? This line is creating a concrete instance of top SMS service. So this line is actually making our code not testable. Not testable in a sense, let's say we don't want to send a real SMS but a fake SMS, so that the customer or any user, or when we are testing, we don't want to send a real SMS using a real message service because that service is charging us money. But while writing test, there is no way we can avoid using this top SMS. Why? Because we are always creating the instance of this SMS service. This is a basic OOP concept. You should never use new and then a concrete class to instantiate an instance. This will make your code not testable. The solution to this problem is very simple. In line number 20, instead of instantiating this class, we will inject the object of this class in this method. How we will do this? So I will say top SMS. So this top SMS will be passed to this method. So in line number 20, we don't have to instantiate the class. So I will just simply remove this now. So now we don't know how, but someone will pass the top SMS instance in this store method, and then we will call the top SMS send from that instance. But the problem is, in our test we are calling this endpoint and we have no control what we are passing to our store method, right? And in our web.php we can see that when someone called the user endpoint with the post method, we are calling this store method, and in this store method we are not passing any parameter. Then how this will be resolved? This is one question. But before getting into the answer of this question, let's see whether it works or not. So at first I will try in the browser. So if I just reload, I am resubmitting the same page again. Then as you can see, we are sending the message using the top message. And then I'll just make some space to check whether we have it in our test. I'll run the test, and then we can see the SMS is being sent. So somehow we can say that Laravel magically resolving this top SMS. So this is the magic of Laravel. So by default, whenever any method, let's say a method or a function from a controller or a command or an event that is being called Laravel by default, so we don't call it manually, then Laravel actually resolve all the dependencies if it is possible. In our case, top message don't have any constructor, or let's say it has a default constructor, so it doesn't have any parameter or any special kind of instantiation mechanism. So Laravel know that top SMS can be resolved by simply calling new SMS, so Laravel resolved it by itself, so we don't have to do anything here or anywhere else. Laravel just know that whenever someone trying to get a top SMS, then we can resolve it by simply instantiating the top SMS service. Now let's come to our problem. The problem was we don't want to send an SMS using a real message service, but when we are testing, we want to send an SMS using a fake message. So to do so, let's create a new class which is called fake message. So it is the fake SMS, and then I will create another class which is called SMS interface, and then in the fake SMS I will say implement SMS interface, and in the SMS interface I will put public function send, and then string phone, string text, and then it will return a string. And then in the fake SMS it will give us an error because we haven't implemented the send method. So here now what I will do is I'll simply copy the content of this one, and then I will paste it here. I'll just say instead of top SMS we are using now fake SMS, and then same goes to our top SMS. So what I will do here is I will just say implements SMS interface, and now let's put a string here and string here. Now we have two SMS sending service. One is top SMS and another one is fake SMS, and we have an interface called SMS interface, and both of our message class, fake message and top message, actually implements the SMS interface. Now in the controller, instead of injecting top SMS, we can say that SMS interface. I'll also rename this variable. So SMS. Now we are saying that someone will pass an object of SMS interface, but SMS is an interface, so there cannot be any object of this interface, but there can be object of the child class or any class that implements the interface. For example, top class implement this SMS interface and fake class also implement this SMS interface. As a result, we can pass any instance of this fake class or the top SMS class in this store method. But now we have another problem. When we test this class, we are not saying whether we are using fake SMS or top SMS. So as a result, Laravel will also get confused because it is expecting SMS interface, but it doesn't know which class to instantiate. Let's try to run the test again. So I will just go here and run the test, and it is giving me an error. And as you can see, the target SMS interface is not instantiable because SMS interface. So in this case, Laravel don't know how to resolve the dependency of this SMS interface in this store method of this user controller. But we know how to resolve it. Now we need to resolve this SMS interface dependency. Laravel has an awesome way to resolve dependency of this sort. So this is the feature I was talking about. This is the feature that many junior developers don't know. As a result, we can end up writing a code that is not testable. Now let's see how we can resolve this dependency. To resolve this dependency, what we need to do is, let's go to app service provider. Laravel provides you different ways of resolving dependencies. Like you can resolve it by binding with a singleton. Let's see. So if we call this app bind, as you can see, there is a bind method, there is a singleton method, singleton if method. So there are different ways, but I will just simply say bind, and this bind method actually take two arguments. One is abstract and another one is concrete. So as an abstract, I will say that SMS interface class, and then as a concrete, I will say top SMS class. So now if we run the code, let me go to the log and I will make some space to see the new log, and then I will resubmit this page again. And now as you can see, we are sending using top SMS, and I will make some space again. And if I run the test again, I can see that test is being passed, and now here I can see that it is sending the SMS with top SMS. But as you know, in the test we don't want to send using this top SMS. In the test we want to use our fake SMS. In the test, what we can do is, before calling that endpoint, we can simply say that app bind SMS interface with fake SMS class. So what does it mean? So in our app service provider, which means whenever our app is being loaded, we will bind the SMS service with the top SMS. So every time it will work with top SMS. But when we run the test, we are overriding that binding with a new binding. We are saying that if someone calls for SMS interface, we will return fake SMS. So instead of sending the message with real top SMS service, we will send with fake SMS service. Now if we run the test, I will make some space, run the test, and as you can see, we are using the fake SMS. But in the browser, if we resubmit, we can see it is using top SMS. So this feature looks simple, but it has so many benefits. For example, after a few months of your application, you come to realize that top SMS is not suitable for your case, so you want to replace it with a new one. So what you can do is, let's say we have a new class called new SMS, and this new SMS class will simply implement our SMS interface, and this SMS interface will implement the send message method. And as you can see, I will just simply copy this from here to here, and I will say instead of top SMS, I am saying that it is a new SMS. But now in your code there is nothing written called top SMS. Everywhere in your whole code base you are depending on SMS interface, not in any fake SMS or any top SMS or any particular SMS class. It is an interface, so it is open for any kind of service. So you don't have to touch any of your code, just you can switch it from here. So when someone want to resolve an SMS interface, now you want to resolve it with new SMS, and then we can also delete it from here. And then if I resubmit, as you can see, it is new SMS. And if I make some space, run the test, and it is still using fake SMS. So this doesn't only make the code testable, but in future if you want to extend your code with a new SMS service, you can do it, because you are not relying on any particular SMS service, you are relying on the interface. And now you might think that Laravel is doing it for the store method because it is a method of a controller and it is being called by the route resolver automatically. If you have your own method that is not being called by Laravel itself, then you need to pass the dependency. So in such cases, I will say there is another way. Instead of using this way of dependency injection, we can also say that SMS equal to app make SMS interface class, and then we can simply remove this. And now if I resubmit the form, you will see it works as before. And even if we change this to top SMS again, it will just work, so we don't have to touch in our implementation code. But one problem with this way is that your ideal, for example, I'm using PHP it doesn't know about this send method. For example, if I just write send, it doesn't give me any suggestion. So to fix this problem, what I would suggest to do is you can simply write a dog block var, and this SMS is an instance of SMS interface. Now you can simply see that it is giving you the suggestion. There is even simpler ways. For example, in this app helper, you can simply call this SMS. This one also works. For example, if I just submit, it's still working without any problem. So this feature is very simple but very powerful. We are making our code open for extension but closed for modification by relying on the interface instead of a concrete class, or let's say the implementation. These are the core concepts of object-oriented programming, and now you know how to follow this in your Laravel application. Years back, when I first come to know about this feature, I was amazed and my whole perception about Laravel and object-oriented was changed. Hope you have enjoyed this video. See you in the next one. Happy coding!